She was 6 years old, a child beauty queen. On December 26, 1996, JonBenét Ramsey was found murdered in her home, and for nearly 30 years, no one has answered for it. This is Final Frame Mysteries, where the evidence is real, the stories are unsolved, and the frame just might be the key. It began with a 911 call from Patsy Ramsey, just after 5 a.m. on the day after Christmas. She said her daughter was gone, and a ransom note had been left behind. Police arrived within minutes, but instead of securing the scene, friends, neighbors, even a pastor, came and went freely. Evidence was contaminated before anything was collected. The ransom note was 2.5 pages long, typed on a notepad from inside the Ramsey home. It demanded $118,000, the exact amount of John Ramsey's Christmas bonus. Experts called it the strangest ransom note they'd ever seen. Long, theatrical, and laced with movie references, like Speed and Dirty Harry. For 7 hours, police treated the situation as a kidnapping. They didn't search the house fully. That mistake changed everything. Just after 1 p.m., John opened a basement door. There, behind it, was JonBenét, covered in a blanket, motionless. Instead of preserving the scene, John picked her up. He carried her upstairs and laid her at the foot of the Christmas tree. Officers stood back. No gloves, no photos, no crime scene barriers. Vital evidence lost forever. The autopsy confirmed 2 injuries, a blow to the head and strangulation. Either could have been fatal. JonBenét was also found with her wrists bound and duct tape over her mouth. There were signs of possible sexual trauma, but no conclusive DNA match. News broke the same day, a child murdered in her home, a rich, beautiful family, and a case that instantly gripped the nation. From the beginning, police suspected the family, but with no arrests and no evidence, they turned to the press. The Ramseys denied any involvement, but their behavior, composed, rehearsed, and media-managed, sparked even more questions. They hired lawyers, a PR firm, a handwriting expert, and they refused formal police interviews for over 4 months. The strangulation appeared staged. The garrote was homemade, constructed from a paintbrush and a length of white nylon cord. No fingerprints were found on the weapon. No blood, no defensive wounds. Some investigators believe the scene had been carefully cleaned. Investigators split into 2 camps. One believed it was an inside job. The other insisted it had to be an intruder. In 2008, DNA from JonBenét's clothing ruled out the entire Ramsey family. The case shifted, but answers remained just as distant. Still, key evidence defied logic. The broken basement window, a suitcase beneath it, and an unknown boot print outside the crime scene. The Ramseys said the window was broken months before, but why was the suitcase placed perfectly below it? In 2016, 20 years later, Burke Ramsey gave a rare interview. Viewers called his smile unsettling. Experts called it trauma. Burke denied involvement, but his odd demeanor sparked debate. Was it guilt or just a boy frozen in trauma? JonBenét became a symbol of innocence, fame, and fear. Her face appeared on every tabloid, every screen, every kitchen table in America. Documentaries, Reddit threads, talk shows, theories became entertainment, and the line between fact and fiction vanished. False confessions followed, dozens, but none matched DNA. None led to charges, just more headlines. He claimed he was with her when she died, but his alibi checked out. His DNA didn't match. And once again, the trail went cold. In 2022, Boulder police announced a renewed partnership with state and federal agencies using modern DNA technology to re-examine the case. They turned to genetic genealogy, using distant relatives to identify suspects, the same way the Golden State Killer was caught. If the killer left a trace, it could now lead to their identity, even decades later. But time, memory, and silence remain the enemy. Some believe the answer is buried in the files. Others say it's hiding in plain sight, but no one has ever stood trial for what happened to JonBenét Ramsey. Patsy Ramsey died in 2006, still under suspicion in the public eye, but officially cleared. She never lived to see the case reopened. John and Burke moved away. Interviews became rare, but for many, suspicion never faded. For others, sympathy only deepened. She was more than a headline, more than a theory. She was a real child with a name, a laugh, a life that never got to grow up. JonBenét's case remains open. Technically, officially, emotionally, it is a mirror held up to a system and a nation still without answers. Some believe the case was sabotaged, that political connections, privilege, or fear kept the truth from ever surfacing. Others think it was simply too broken to solve. Evidence lost, time passed, witnesses gone, and the story consumed by noise. JonBenét became a cultural phantom, a child frozen in fame, her image used in art, commentary, and dark satire, often without consent. Why didn't the dog bark that night? Why wasn't the ransom call made? Why write the note after the child was already dead? The Ramseys were never charged. No one ever was. The official cause, homicide by undetermined person. Case status, open, for now. She became a pageant queen, a mystery, a myth. But before all of it, she was just a child. That's what we forget most. We built stories around her, theories, dramas, podcasts, but no one rebuilt the truth. And now, her voice is only an echo. Who killed JonBenét Ramsey? We may never know, but someone does. And they've stayed silent for almost 30 years. She would be 34 today. Maybe a teacher, maybe a mother, maybe someone who barely remembered the stage. Instead, her case remains cold. Her memory commercialized, her story still missing its final page. If you know something, say something. For her, not for the story, not for the views, for the child who never got to grow up. Subscribe to Final Frame Mysteries, where the case may be cold, but the frame is still developing.